Hello friends, how are you? Have you been learning a lot these days? I know you have worked hard. I also know that God has been with you all this time. Do you believe this? Do you believe that God is with you? Well, today I want to tell you a very nice story. It is about a boy just like you, named Pedro, which means Peter in English. Are you ready to hear the story? Once upon a time, there was a boy named Peter who was only 8 years old and lived in a really big city with a lot of cars, huge buildings, and a lot of people. He lived with his stepfather, but his stepfather didn't take care of him. So one day, Peter decided to find some food and a place to stay. He walked and walked for a long time until he was tired. After a while, he was worried and scared because he didn't know where to go or where to sleep or what to eat. He was alone and lost in that big city. After walking a long time, he decided to sit on the street. After a while, some children came to join him. They were dirty and their clothes were worn out. But Peter was surprised when they invited him to go with them. Together, they were looking for things to eat and a place to sleep. For a while, it was fun. They walked the streets without anyone telling them what to do, and they played wherever they wanted. But they also had to sleep on the street using broadband as a blanket, and they had to work to eat. After some time, Peter became in charge of cleaning car windshields at the intersections to get some money. Johnny, who had become his best friend, sold gum to the people in the cars at the red light. One day, Peter woke up very sick. His friends didn't want to leave him by himself, so they took him with them to the street where they worked. They put him on a corner of the street on the floor of the sidewalk, covered with an old coat. People walked by him and stared at him. A man who was dressed in a very nice suit looked at Peter on the sidewalk and insulted him, saying that he was in the way. A woman who was also walking by and carrying bags of food covered her nose, trying not to breathe to this bad smell that came from Peter because of not being able to bath. Night was around the corner, and Peter was still on the floor of the sidewalk, waiting for his friends to finish working so they could take him home. A man with a good heart saw Peter on the floor, kneeled down beside him, and checked him to see how sick he was. The man took Peter and his friends to a place where he was healed and taken care of. He and his friends could live and eat good, play and learn many things, and they were giving all of these things without having to give anything in exchange. That is how Peter and his friends grew up and became good men who loved God every day of their lives. It is a good thing that Peter and his friends found a place to live. This is a good example of giving to others, even though you might not know them. Just like Luke 10:27 says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." I want to invite you to show God's love to those around you, helping children like Peter who are going through a hard time and need our love and help. I'm your friend Supergirl, and don't you ever forget you have the power to give love. Thank you for helping the children of Niños de Mexico, for your prayers and your offerings.